Executive Commission Committee is now in session. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Alderman Rhodey, Alderman Kennedy.
Here.
Vice Chairman Vaccaro.
Here.
Alderman Villa.
Here.
Alderman Ogilvie, Chairwoman Berenger.
Present.
Board President, you have a quorum.
Okay. We are now going to hear discussion on Board Bill 55. From Alderman Shane Cohn.
Board Bill 55 is a board bill as it's currently written, which is written to repeal Chapter 15.86 of the Revised Code, which pertains to fortune telling, prognosticating, soothsaying, astrology, acromancy, etc. Yes. So witchery.
Oh, okay. I had to learn how to cheese.
No, it's so there's. This was written in the very, very early part of the last century, and at the time, we weren't even flying on airplanes at that point. Television hadn't been invented. There were a lot of different ways that people were being defrauded, and so this was written as a measure to.
They were using brooms to fly.
They were using brooms to fly. Good point, Tom. This was written as a measure to help the citizens of St. Louis from being defrauded, as we know, over time, things change. This was not really. I actually was reminded earlier this week. During the 1980s, in particular, there was a lot of businesses that were popping up that were 1-800 numbers and 1-900 numbers. That were very dangerous and took a lot of money from people, and we never enforced this during that point in time either. And a lot of those things have gone away at this point. Most people, they're obviously telecom companies are struggling keeping landlines in place right now. A lot of people are using cell phones, so telephone fraud is still a big deal, but now those folks have become a lot more sophisticated in terms of how they're going about defrauding people. And meanwhile, these types of activities have become more entertainment and amusement based. It was actually brought to my attention by my Republican committeeman last year that this was still on the books, and so. Whenever a constituent calls, I try and listen to them and do a little research around the issue, and found that it was still indeed active on our books, and so I thought it would be best to take care of that. I do have an amendment to offer, and would like to put forth
He said just settle in.
Put that forth before the committee.
Is there someone else up there?
No, so what you were previously discussing with Board Bill 55, now you would like us to hear discussion on Board Bill 55 committee substitute?
Correct.
No,
An amendment, I'm sorry. An amendment.
We need a motion to place the amendment before.
I'll make a motion to place it before.
She needs to.
Oh.
I'll ask if we have a motion for an amendment to hear committee substitute, amendment for Board Bill 55.
I'll make it. Second.
Okay.
So.
Oh, I'm sorry. Roll call.
Alderman Rhodey, Alderman Kennedy. Vice Chairman Vaccaro.
Aye.
Alderman Villa.
Aye.
Alderman Ogilvie, Chairwoman Berenger.
Aye.
Committee substitute. The amendment partly stands before you.
So essentially what the amendment before you does, instead of repealing the entire chapter, it actually provides an exemption for those persons who are part of a show or an exhibit or are using this for entertainment or amusement value and expression. And essentially, it's basically one sentence. Nothing in the chapter shall regulate, control, or prohibit the conduct covered in this section that we were initially repealing. If such conduct is part of shows, exhibits, entertainment, amusement, expression, or properly and lawfully licensed for such business in the city of St. Louis. There are a number of places that do use these mediums for entertainment value, and then there are also those that still conduct this as a way of doing business. And I think if they're properly licensed to do so, there are ways to make sure that they aren't defrauding our population in the city. And so I took it upon the advice of many of our colleagues that this would be a more preferable way to go, and I agree with them. And so I am asking for your favorable consideration in regards to the amendment.
Okay, I just want to clarify before I ask the other committee members if they have any questions, is that the original Board Bill 55 basically was saying that the city was
Completely
repealing it, versus committee substitute says we're seeing this industry as entertainment now. So it's not that we're repealing it, we're saying they're part of a business. They're now entertainment, amusement.
Right.
We're not condoning or inferring that we believe in
Right.
the work that they do. Okay. With that, Alderman Rhodey, Alderman Kennedy.
I am still not clear what the amendment does. Okay.
So the amendment actually, there's a copy of the code in front of you. So the code currently is part of the Consumer Protection division of our code, and expressly prohibits all activities. So what the amendment does is it adds another section to the code that provides an exemption for anyone who is doing these types of activities, whether it's card reading, palm reading, etc., as long as they are doing it for amusement purposes or entertainment value, or they are legally licensed in the city of St. Louis to perform such activities. So it's providing an exemption for those folks.
So it is still prohibited, but provides
An exemption, correct.
if it is show, exhibit, entertainment, amusement. And then how do you know that? Is that, or it would just be considered that?
It would be considered that, right?
I didn't have a problem just repealing it, so that you know.
Yeah, I don't either. But a number of our colleagues expressed concern around it, so I worked with them to.
Really?
This is actually, the exemption is actually based off of a similar, rule structure that New York City put in place, because they had a similar law. I mean, they're a city of similar age to us and had a comparable code on the books, and so this was one of the ways that they addressed that, to allow for businesses and other folks that were using this for entertainment value.
Is that all?
Yeah, that's my
Oh,
question.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
I was just thinking it through.
Okay. Alderman Vaquero. Alderman Villa.
Thanks, Madam Chairman. Shane and Sean, an expression exempt, what does that mean?
That's directly taken from New
Always
York.
right.
I would actually, I think that's supposed to be, oh no, that wasn't there. And I would imagine it's expression, meaning portraying yourself as a fortune teller or portraying yourself as a soothsayer, prognosticator, etc. So I think it goes to the portrayal of.
Yeah, and I too, along with the Alderman of the 18th, would not have had any trouble in, abolishing the entire chapter. Simply, I don't think this is a growth industry, and I don't think it's a problem in St. Louis County. I just don't think it's a...
I am perfectly happy if you vote down the amendment and support the original bill. Pardon?
It can be withdrawn.
Or, I'm happy to withdraw the amendment as well.
We can simply defeat the committee substitute and go back to the bill.
So, I'm happy with that.
Well, no, that's okay. I just, we actually originally had a meeting on Monday.
I missed that, Madam Chairman.
Yeah,
and I'm
we didn't
very
make quorum.
sorry.
We did not have
I'm
quorum.
sorry.
And so there was a lot of discussion on this bill, and the biggest thing that came up is that those who are, you know, very conservative in their view on religion, with just repealing it, the assumption may be that we are endorsing fortune telling, versus what this is saying is we're not endorsing it, we're just seeing it as a business. Entertainment business. So I just wanted to clarify for you, Alderman Villa, what happened on Monday with all of our discussions.
Yeah, and it's no one's fault but my own, and I wasn't here to hear all the discussion, so I just, thank you. Leave it at that.
I just want to clarify how that all came about. Okay, so for those who would feel that this was offensive religiously. Is that all your question, Alderman Villa?
It is, Madam Chairman,
Okay.
thank you.
No, thank you. Alderman Rhodey?
I too have to apologize, Madam Chairwoman. I have no good excuse other than I forgot I was on this committee and failed to look
Oh my gosh.
failed to look at the is gross incompetence a valid excuse or second? I guess I share Alderman Villa's opinion, but I will follow the lead of the chair or the, you know, whatever the sense of committee is. I'm fine either way.
Okay. Do you, I mean, you know,
Although
we
I am
had a,
concerned about where Nancy Reagan would go if she came to town.
Where's she going?
But she still is alive, isn't she?
yes, she is actually. All right, Alderman, oh, I'm sorry, are you?
I'm done.
Yeah.
Alderman Ogilvy?
Do we require, it's before us, yeah, the committee says it's before us. Do we require a priest or a pastor or a church to have a business license? Maybe those are two questions. Do we require a priest to have a business license to?
No, religious.
Do we require a church to have a business license?
But the code as it's currently written does provide for religious exemptions as well. So if this is viewed as someone's religion, they are exempt from the code.
Already?
Already.
Okay.
That's interesting.
I mean, my personal sense is that we can just eliminate this section entirely. This sponsor's original intent.
Well,
I think
I
not.
am not on this committee. That is a decision that the committee has to make,
Right.
and I am simply trying to address the concerns of my constituency.
My opinion is that not having it be a part of the code is neither endorsing it nor you know, taking a negative view of it. It's just if the code is silent on it, it's silent on it. It doesn't need its endorsement.
So I guess the question is, right now, is this, it shows it as a business, they have to get a business license. How do they get a business license now?
Well, currently they can't. It's illegal.
I know, but that's what I'm, okay, so,
So if it's repealed, they would be able to get a business license. Currently, they're unable to because it's illegal.
as what though, when it comes to business licenses?
Well, they can't right now at all.
But what would it fall under?
Whatever they're doing, you know, whether that's palm reading or card reading or, you know, crystal ball, you know, or an astrologer or whatever. I mean, there's many different things that are kind of forbidden underneath this code at the moment. And Interstate 55 is currently adopted by the Paranormal Society of St. Louis. So, you know, the state is allowing them to adopt highways, yet the city is forbidding the practice of their business.
Okay. Is there any further discussion? Well, do we want to entertain a motion to pass out Board Bill 55 committee substitute?
I'll make a motion, we'll pass the substitute out.
Is there a second?
Chairman, may I?
Yeah.
Sean, you have to tell us, I mean, I don't know where that opposition came from, but do you think that more than 15 aldermen would be comfortable with what you want to do?
I
You
do
brought
believe
it.
that, yes. I do believe that more than 15 aldermen would be comfortable with that.
Yeah.
We just reviewed.
Right.
And I'm not going to second his motion.
And I knew you would.
Okay.
I will say, I first introduced this last session, and I received only one email with concerns about it. I reintroduced it this session, and have been, it's been publicized. I did not try and bring any attention to this. These were folks that reached out to me and, had conversations on the radio, I believe KMOX and KTRS, and also I think some of the news stations picked it up as well. I haven't had a single email or phone call this session about this bill. So, and I think all of us know that when you're sponsoring a bill and it gets out there, if people have concerns about it, they're going to bring it to your attention. That has not happened, and so I have to believe that the majority of the citizens of the city are also supportive of this as well.
All right, well, for a lack of a second, the motion fails. So we have before us Board Bill 55. Do I,
Madam Chairman, I move that if I'm recognized for this
Yes.
purpose, thank you. I would move that Board Bill 55 be recommended with the due pass recommendations of the full board.
Second.
okay. Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Rhodey.
Aye.
Alderman Kennedy.
Aye.
Vice Chairman Vaccaro.
No.
Alderman Villa.
Aye.
Alderman Ogilvy.
Aye.
Chairwoman Behringer.
Pass.
Chairwoman Behringer.
I know, hold on. Okay, yes.
5 yes votes, 1 no vote. Board Bill 55 comes out with a due pass recommendation.
People don't even know it exists.
Oh, meeting adjourned.
So that we've discussed this around it.